You're listening to localwebradio.fm. Community-minded, locally focused.
You're listening to This Week in Real Estate with Lance and Connie Marples from Sutton WestCoast Realty. Here's your host.
Hello, I am your host, Nick Jaworski, and I am here with Lance Marples from Sutton WestCoast Realty. And today we'll be talking with Lance about the spring housing market in the South Surrey White Rock area. We will be discussing if spring is a good time to buy or sell your home, the best strategies to make your home stand out, and how prices compare to last year. Now, before Lance joins us, just a reminder that if you have questions or require assistance, you can reach Lance and his wife Connie by telephone at 604-538-8888 and on Facebook at facebook.com/marplesmarketing. Lance, it is great to be talking with you today.
Great to talk to you, Nick. It's a little wet out, but spring is coming. The flowers are coming up.
That's always a great time of year. You don't mind a little bit of rain if you know that it's going to bring the flowers. And speaking of spring, though, I've heard in my brain that spring is a great time to buy or sell a home, but you're the expert. And so is that true? And if it is, why is it the best time?
Well, it's a natural thing in that people coming out of winter, you know, everybody's starting to think about changes in their life, making changes, planning for changes. Mm-hmm. A lot of house buying revolves around the school year. But if you're wanting to move in the summer, you need to be thinking in the spring and planning for it and getting it. You know, we're doing deals today that will close in the end of June, early July. So that's why a lot of the market for the year, and, you know, a good 50% of the annual market happens within about a 3-month period. Oh, wow. And that's in the springtime. Yeah, so it's a lot of the market happens at that time, and very often, traditionally, the highest prices of the year are achieved during that period of time.
Okay, so does that mean that there are just more listings that come out of the spring preparation time?
More listings, more sales. This is when people are thinking of making that move. Again, planning around that school year is a big part of why people make these changes.
Wow, okay, so if there are lots of listings coming out of the spring, you know, now so you can move into the summer, how much inventory are you looking at currently here in South Surrey White Rock?
Well, you know, it's right now in if we're just talking detached houses, and so there's not a lot of stuff in the lower end. You know, we've only got 36 listings under $640,000. There's another 210 listings between $640,000 and $937,000. And then over $937,000, there's 381 listings in the South Surrey market. And, you know, a lot of those houses, and it's shocking now how many houses are priced over $1.5 million, over $2 million, over $3 million.
Wow.
This market is changing. I'm getting calls from people literally from all over the world right now who have heard about White Rock, people who own properties in West Van, which is some of the highest real estate in the world, are identifying White Rock as the next place to come, and they're wanting to get their money in here and get invested and you know, picking up some of these view properties to hold or to build on and that kind of stuff.
Now, what kind of buyers are out there? I mean, are we talking about families? Are we talking about business owners or just you know, retired couples? Who's looking for these homes?
Right now, it's a combination. You know, we're having a lot of people who are 45 plus who have been successful in their lives and are now wanting to sort of reap the rewards of that and try and get into these view properties. So there's a lot of that going on. I'm talking people from within my own industry who live outside this area are now coming down here. Business owners, pilots, doctors, all these kind of people are wanting to buy and get in on this beautiful, beautiful view properties that, you know, rival anything from Europe or West Van or, you know, LA or anything like that. The views here are just stunning.
All right, we've got to take a quick break right now, so we'll be right back with Lance Marples from Sutton WestCoast Realty. And when we return, we'll be discussing the spring housing market on the peninsula. So don't go anywhere. We will be right back.
More This Week in Real Estate after this.
Are you struggling with a dental or oral health issue? Dr. Norm Ickert from Ickert Dental Implant Center is committed to improving your quality of life with the very best in modern and advanced dentistry. You can catch Dr. Ickert on the Health Channel for the Healthy Smiles Oral Health Show here on localwebradio.fm and at the Ickert Dental Implant Center in Langley at 866-981-1381. That's 866-981-1381.
Take control of your financial future with Sound Investing with Byron Stryloff, Senior Investment Advisor and Chartered Financial Planner with over 30 years of experience on the Business Channel on localwebradio.fm.
Shopping for the lowest mortgage rate? Looking to refinance? Catch the Mortgage Newscast with Jared Dreyer on the Business Channel on localwebradio.fm. It's time now for more This Week in Real Estate.
All right, we're back, and I am here with Lance Marples, and we're discussing some good strategies for preparing your home for sale in a competitive market. And so, Lance, what are some good strategies to help your home stand out? Is it just price, or is it something special or magical I would never think of?
Well, I don't know if special or magical, but a lot of it's common sense. You know, the weather is improving. The flowers are starting to bud. As I look out the window here now, all the rhododendrons are starting, the buds are starting to come. You want to get out and clean up that garden. Get the edging done around the flower beds. Make sure the lawns are cut. And I know it's still a little mushy out there to cut the lawns, but, you know, if you're going to sell, you're going to have to put a little effort in and get the outside appearance done. Make sure you get your gutters clean so they're flowing and not overrunning. You know, if there's some trees that need tidying up, get that done. All the branches that are blown down, clean all that up. Make your yard look like a place people want to be. That's your first impression. So that's really important to do. On the inside, you want to make sure that you've got all your stuff running. You know, is your furnace running properly? Have you changed your filter recently? Get those kind of maintenance things done. And then you want to just clean it up. Get rid of the junk. You know, we all collect, and over the winter time, you know, there's still Christmas wrappers around, and all that stuff that, you know, happens over the winter that we get in there. Go through, bring in a fresh pair of eyes. You don't see your own stuff. Bring in Connie, bring in somebody, a stager, have them walk through the house with you and go through and say, yes, you know, keep this, you know, we've got 3 couches in the living room. No, you need 1 or 2. Get them out of there, put them in storage. Yes, storage costs a little bit of money, but if you can make an extra $5,000 to $10,000 by decluttering it, it's probably worth the effort.
Now, it's interesting because in, you know, the winter, things, you know, are darker and your lawn's a mess and there's snow and, or, you know, rain or whatever. And then spring comes, of course, and we have the potential for things to look great because that's what we want to live in, but it does take maybe a little bit of work to get it together. Yeah,
and especially when it's still raining out. You know, who wants to get out there when it's still, you know, the lawn's still soft and mushy, and, you know, as you're picking up the branches, you got rain dropping down your back from the ones above and that kind of stuff. But it's really important to do that kind of stuff if you want to get top dollar for your house.
Now, have prices gone up from last year? Are we seeing an increase from previous years?
We definitely are, and you know, it's if you look at the housing price index, which we talked about before, which is an index that carries, you know, it peaked in 2012 at $883,000 for a single-family resident, basic 3-bedroom home here. And, you know, it dropped right down in the beginning of 2013. A year ago, so we're talking February of 2013, it was $840,500. We're now up to $873,000, which is a 3.8% increase over the last year.
Wow.
And it's a pretty steady line heading in that direction. So, yeah, you know, prices are increasing. Are they happening all over the Fraser Valley? No, but in South Surrey here, the pressure's still here. This is still the place people want to be. It's not a necessity buy here. It's a status buy, a lifestyle buy. So people are still putting pressure on pricing here.
Well, okay, so then if prices have gone up, are we seeing more sales as well?
We are, and breaking that down by price range in the up to $640,000. There's been 7 sales, and that's actually down 12.5%. But then if you look at the 640 to 940 range, there's been 39 sales. That's a 62.5% increase from last year.
Wow.
And then if you look at over 940, which is the vast majority of this market, there's been 43 sales, and that's a 79.2% increase in sales.
Since last year?
Since last year.
Wow.
Yeah, so that gives you an idea of how the numbers of sales are happening. Prices are going up, obviously. But, we're still at a fairly low listing to sales price ratio, which, would make all those stats seem off, but that's the way it is. I mean, if you're looking at number of homes for sale and how many are selling, that number hasn't gone up much. We're at about a 14% increase, or 14% listing to sales ratio. But that's up, from last year it was about 9%. So, it's still about a 20% increase in the ratio of sales to listings. So it's still significant, but it's still a buyer's market.
Huh. Now, we are almost out of time, but do you have any final thoughts, Lance, about the market or what people should do, or any final thoughts to wrap this up?
It's a great time of the year to get homes sold, particularly if you've got kids that you've got to want to get into new schools for September. You want to get that out. You should have somebody come out, give you an idea of what you may need to get done, put a plan together, put a timeline together as when you want to achieve these goals, and any good realtor then will be able to tell you, here's a plan, that here's when we need to make things happen. Getting that advice costs nothing. It's a great way to get started, and will help you achieve your goals in the long run.
Unfortunately, we're out of time, so if you can think of somebody who might benefit from what we have talked about here today, go ahead and share this podcast with them. I'm sure they'll thank you for it. And, of course, you can reach Lance and Connie by telephone at 604-538-8888 and online at surreywhiterockhomes.com. Lance, again, thanks so much.
Thank you, Nick. Have a great day.
You've been listening to This Week in Real Estate with Lance and Connie Marples from Sutton WestCoast Realty. This high-energy team brings their extensive real estate experience and keen eye for local market conditions to every transaction, ensuring their clients achieve their real estate goals, whether buying or selling. Call Lance and Connie Marples today at 604-538-8888. That's 604-538-8888. And visit them online at www.surreywhiterockhomes.com.
Local stories, local voices. We're localwebradio.fm.